It's very important for the children to have a figure with which they can identify, and especially small children, they like dolls, and the doll can talk to the children. It does not have to be the teacher who talks to the children, it also can be the doll. And this is something for the children, they really like it, and it's from the emotional side, it's very good. So Ursli came to Nepal and he told his story. And first I just was showing them the picture and telling them the story of Ursli. And then they heard it once and they saw the picture at the book, how does it look like, and then they made their drawings. And now at the end they have now really a nice book with their own drawings, and it came out really beautiful. And I think the children will always remember these stories, because we made many things with this book. I didn't only come and tell the story and it's finished. They have now the Ursli here. They know about this boy. They made this book and we were acting to get to know the story. So this was my goal, and I had to do different things to reach the goal. Only telling the story is not enough, and I had to prepare it. And if you can do this with every story in every country, also in Nepal you have many stories here. You can take a story and prepare it for the children and make a doll or create something the children can identify with it, and then you can make a book. We also made another book. Once the children had to learn about the sounds of the animals. In their book was written, the lion roars, the dog barks, and so on, and then they just had to read it and to write it. And then I said, okay, come on, let's make a little book. I called it my first book, and then they could draw a lion and they could write the sentence about the lion. And then this is from the textbook, a lion roars. We could write down this sentence as well. And then I said, think about more. How is a lion? A lion is big, or a lion has a long tail. And then at the end the lion is dangerous. So each child could make a little book with the animal it choose itself. And then they got many different books, and some children then also started to make a second book with their own ideas. And I think this is something really nice and creative, and when you are talking about the topic you can go deeper with it. And children have many fantasy and ideas, but we need to bring them to talk about it. What I see here, the teacher says a sentence and the children, they say the same sentence, and they don't have to think by themselves. This was also this morning when they had to draw different things in different colors. They always ask me, what can I draw? What can I draw? I have no idea. And they don't learn to say their own ideas. I don't know if they are scared or if they have scared to make mistakes. So, and what I also did in class 6, we were making a drawing contest, and then I wanted the children to talk about their drawings, and I saw they were not able to talk about their drawings. And then I said, yeah, please write down what you were drawing. And they had no ideas. So for each drawing I prepared a text like this, where it's written what you can see on these drawings. I mean, this takes time, but I think it's really important to give the children some ideas what they can write. And when you see they have no idea. And then I put it all this texts on the tables, and when the children came back, I asked them to read all these different texts about the drawings, and I also asked them to find out which is your text, which text matches to your drawing. And we made like a game. One could read the text and the others had to look at the drawing and then to point to the drawing and say, yeah, this is the drawing for this text. So they read a lot and they got an idea what they could write, and they had to look at the drawings and find out what it is. I see here the children sitting around for a long time. They have no breaks. They start at 10 o'clock till 12:40, no break. They get tired, the concentration is leaving, and so I think it's important that the children can move, especially for the small ones. And my goal was really that they have an idea about their drawing and what they can write. So I had to prepare this. With the teachers, I made different teachers trainings. We were talking about reading, and they had to read a word in Swiss German because the spelling of the letters is different. And I wanted them to see how the children feel when they learn reading in a new language. This is something very difficult. And then I prepared some pictures with words on it, just to show them that when you start reading a text, you should use keywords, the important words of a text. You should write down or also draw pictures, and then the children understand what you are talking about. And after getting to know these keywords, then we started to read the text, and then the understanding is better. And then you also can make different things with these keywords. You can ask which keyword comes in the text first, which comes after it. And so this is like a repetition of the text, and the children then can remember better, and they have an idea of what you're talking about. And here I see the textbooks, they are very difficult, in a difficult way for the children. And it's for them, I think they read, but they don't really understand what they read. And the teacher always should know, why do I read the text? What do I want to read with this text? And how can I prepare the text for the children that they understand it? And you have to work several times with this text, that it is then in their brain, that they don't forget it. If you just read it and then go on to the next topic, they will forget quickly. You should make drawings, you should act when you have read a text. You should write about the text, you should make a game about the text. And then they will keep it in their mind and also in their heart. Like Ursula, the children now, they really love this doll, and it's now like a pupil, a schoolmate in their classroom. We have different types of learners. Some children learn better when they hear it. Others really need to touch the things. And they have to act and to move. And others learn better when they see the things. And I always also use smelling and tasting. For example, when we talk about fruits or vegetables at school, then I bring these fruits. They can touch the fruit, they can smell the fruit, they can taste it. They see it, they can draw it, they can write the name. So I think teaching is always using all senses. And they should use their brain, they should use their hands, and they should always use their heart. When it's emotional, then it stays in your brain. Without emotion, they will forget quickly. And what is this for? This is for nursery class or smaller children. They can use their finger to follow the line, make a drawing, and then they can draw the rain. It makes more fun than just write little stripes into the cup. Draw waves around these little points, and then you can color the points or make straight lines. It's more fun for the children when they have a picture and they see, I have to reach the flower. Where do I start? And especially for weakest children, they should first be able to follow these lines, and then at the end they can write alone. Drawings, they have to follow the lines. And when you're talking about the topic, you can make a drawing with things of this topic. And you also can write the words. The children are not used to handle with the scissors, so they also can cut lines or waves or these shapes. And then you also can talk about the shapes, and you can put the shapes together and make figures or make a big picture. When teachers teach, they don't have to have a lot of material or things. I think the first thing is to love the children and to be curious themselves and to find out things. Look around in the nature and you find many things you can talk about with the children. And you can enlight their fire, and you can make a lot of activities with no material. But I think the teachers have to prepare, and they have to know what they want to teach the children. And they also should ask the children, what do you want to know, what do you want to learn? And then they can find out together. There are libraries and books. The teachers can read in the books, and they also can read with the children and find out many things in the books they have. And there are also the parents. The parents are also a big resources we have. So we can go to the parents and ask them, what is your interest, what do you know? And maybe the parents can come to school and teach also the children and the teachers about their knowledge. We also can use this. In the curriculum you have all the goals, and when you prepare the lesson, you always keep in mind what is the goal, what do I want to reach, and how can I reach this goal. Like I showed you in the story of Ursli, there are always different steps to reach it. There is an introduction of a topic, and then some exercises, and then also repetition, and at the end you make a test to see what the children learned out of it. But when you just come and teach something and then you leave and never make a test, then it's really difficult also for the children to see if they learned something. And when you make a test at the end of a topic, the children see, I learned this, or this is all missing, I have to exercise this a little bit more. Just have a look at these pictures of the nursery. So to learn English, they draw these nice pictures, and they also wrote the names of these pictures so the children can play with these cards. The teachers know now how to play with these cards, and this makes more fun to learn English by playing than just by writing hours into a copy. This is what I saw here in the nursery. They had to write for hours into the copy. One teacher came and wrote numbers into the copy, then next lesson the next teacher came and write Roman numbers into the copy, and the small children from 4 and 5 years, they had to write for 3 hours, and I think this is not what is for the children. It's not right. They have no breaks. I think this is also something very important, to give them a break. They have to learn for such a long time, and they have no breaks. They could not play, and we always say when the children play, they learn a lot. And the material is locked in. They have no access to the material, only because the teacher thinks, yeah, it gets broken or it disappears. But the teacher should teach the children how to treat the material. When you ask something of a child, please do this or make this, and the child doesn't do it, then you have to talk to the child and ask, why didn't you do this? And you have to ask for it again, and you have to motivate the child, and you need time. Maybe then the teacher has to do it with the child together several times until the child learns, now I can do it by my own. But the teacher always has to observe, and when the teacher sees children are doing some things very good and well, then he can give an award or tell to the class, look, these children collected all this rubbish and they did a very good job, I give them an award or a little prize. And maybe this motivates the other children to do it next time also better. The children to write 5 sentences. Then you have the fast ones, they finish very fast, and then you also have the children who maybe don't write 1 sentence. Then you have to sit next to them, and then you have to say, now make 1 sentence with me, and you write it down. So then they know, aha, I have to do it. But when you just leave the children alone and say, okay, he's a lazy child, he doesn't want to learn, then he will never do anything. But you need to take the time to sit next to these children, and maybe the consequences is next time when you play a game, then you say, okay, all the children who have finished, they can start playing now, but the others, they first have to finish this sentence. Then this is the consequences, and you don't have to beat them or to shout at them. So then they learn, oh, the others can play, but I have to write first. Maybe it helps them to next time to write the sentences first. It's like building a house. When you have bricks, you put 1 brick next to the other. Then you can build a nice house, and then it will be stable. But when you just make something here and something here and something here, and then you just make something more difficult, and at the end the house will break down because it's not stable. And this is also with discipline. You have to start with small things, and you have to ask for them, and you also need the patience to wait until all the children have done it like you want it.
Namaskar, namaskar, Guru Amra. Namaste, namaste, Satyaru. Boli Vedana, Kushi Lagna. Namaste, namaste, namaste.
When you become a teacher, then this is your main job, and you have to care about this and not about the other businesses, because you get salary for your job as a teacher, and then this is your main job, and this is your responsibility. You are responsible for the children. When you are a teacher, you have to take care for them, and you have to treat them well, and never beat children. This is no way.